Hi all. Finland Azure User Group Virtual Azure Tips and Tricks Extravaganza to the Max 2020 is here. Welcome. FAUG is about continuous learning and the community around cloud computing and Microsoft Azure. We have over 1,600 members and we organize over 10 events yearly, virtually and in person, of which the largest example is IGLUconf, held every January. Virtual Azure Tips and Tricks is a year-long event during which we present several about 30-minute talks about various topics by various presenters. Please tune in to our meetup site to view the upcoming presentations and to our YouTube channel to view the previous presentations. Thank you for joining us and stay safe.
And hello everyone, and welcome to this first Azure Users Group Virtual Azure Tricks and Tips session, where I'm talking about everybody's favorite topic, which is documenting your environments, and this time with a CloudDocket. A little bit about myself. I'm Jukka Loikkanen, Azure Cloud Architect at Nordcloud, being there now for over a year, focusing fully on Azure. A little bit about Nordcloud. We have a presence in 10 countries and work with all the major clouds, AWS, Azure and GCP, with over 400 cloud experts with a bunch of certifications. Yeah, let's go to the topic. What is CloudDocket? CloudDocket is basically a tool for you to automatically generate diagrams and documentation of your cloud environment, and also monitor changes inside your environment. It supports Visio, Draw.io, Lucidchart diagrams, and can create Word and PDF documents, which consists of billing information and data security, compliance rules, and stuff like that. Also, you can create a Excel worksheets about your environments in case you need those. It works with Azure, AWS and GCP, so you are not limited with just Azure if you are using this. And also you can utilize it on on-premise environments with VMware and Hyper-V. And one thing also to mention about it is that you can utilize it to document multiple tenants' environments, which means that if, for example, when you have it running on one place, so if you just have the connections and the accesses right, so you can also document multiple tenants, multiple subscriptions, so you are not limited like per user, per tenant kind of thing. How does this thing actually work? There are 3 ways to use CloudDocket. One is with the desktop version, which is basically an application which you install on a server and run it locally inside your own environment. Then the other way is to utilize CloudDocket website, which is basically the has the same capabilities as the desktop version, but is accessible via web browser rather than going on your server and launching the application itself. And then they have also launched API on preview, and with API you can state that how you want your documentation to be created, and then then trigger it by webhooks. When considering Azure, so there are three ways you can utilize to connect from CloudDocket to your own Azure subscription or your Azure tenant. One is an Azure AD application, which you give an access to read all the subscriptions you want to be documented. And then they recently launched Managed Identity on preview, which is also now able to be used. And then you can also, of course, use just your own credentials to log in to your Azure tenant. There is a bunch of ready-made templates, but you can also do your own customizable templates, which have just the information that you need. There is a bunch of compliance rules ready-made, and you can also create them yourself, but that is all only limited to be done in the website version of CloudDocket. So you're not able to create them in the desktop version, but you can use those same compliance rules on the desktop version also. You can schedule your runs, and also document. This comes handy when documenting changes that if you want to compare your previous runs. So you can, for example, schedule it for a weekly run and then see if there is some changes inside your environment, and that what has changed and what has not. The documentation that the CloudDocket generates, it can be stored inside a storage account located in the same subscription that you are documenting. So this means that, for example, if your client has multiple tenants, so it is not possible to put the documentation inside just one tenant and like run through multiple tenants. Rather than you need to put the generated documentation in a storage account inside one of the subscriptions you are going through inside of one tenant. But also, if you are running the CloudDocket desktop version, it is possible to store all the data in the local machine, and then with the website version you can also utilize CloudDocket's own storage to store your documentation. And then we have this little diagram about this, but I went this through already quite a lot. So let's proceed to few examples that what CloudDocket provides you and what I have seen handy. So how does this thing look? So I'm running with the website version, which is the free tier or free trial, which can be found on CloudDocket's website. And here basically it is fairly simple to do this, since well, the first thing is that you just specify that which kind of documentation you would like to have, and also there is a bunch of or not maybe bunch of, but at least 5 ready-made templates, which you can take the full template, which takes everything from your environment and puts it inside one document. And the problem with that is that they can be quite large if you have a bigger environment. Then if you have made your own templates, they can be added also. Then the basics, selecting the workloads that you need to or you want to have documented, and for example, one thing to mention is also this, that if you want to, you can retrieve information inside your Windows virtual machines. Of course, this is a little bit limited since you cannot do this on Linux virtual machine, since as it states, it executes PowerShell scripts on the machine. So there are a few things that you can then get inside a machine also. Then you can also organize your content. What I've marked that have been quite handy is that that you can limit, include or exclude certain resource groups, and then also that you can only include resources with the following tags. So for example, taking like one solution inside Azure. So if you have that tagging right, so just specify what tag and what is the value, and you are able to document only that environment in question. Then tracking changes. This needs that you have a snapshot, a JSON file stored inside a storage account in Azure, so you can then track the changes. So that is needed. Then the drop-offs, actually this website version has more options. Few that I didn't mention was that you can also utilize SharePoint and OneDrive to store your documentation, and the CDK one here is the CloudTogit's own storage. But from here you can also get your own storage account. Then about the compliance rules I mentioned earlier also, we have these ready-made ones, and you can also create these in here. This is not available, as stated, this is not available in the desktop version, but just here inside the web version, which isn't that big of a deal, since when you have the license for this, you are able to log into web interface and also utilize the desktop version. So it's not like that you need to buy one or the other, rather than you get the both ones. But yeah, there is a bunch of ready-made, and then the next I'll show you that the document that it has built out for me from my own Azure environment, which is not that large, but anyway. So this is it. We have a document, and this is the full version. So this has a bunch of stuff. 36 pages with just a few resource groups, showing where your resources are located. I have only West Europe, and then if we come to this compliance stuff, so you can take this, and if you have your own compliance rules, it will highlight them also. But for example, here we see that I have a bunch of stuff that are not compliant according CloudTogit's own compliance rules. And then if we dig a little bit deeper in these, so it actually states that what are the issues with this one. So if in case you have your own rules here, so they can also they pop up in here. And for one thing, I have marked this to be handy is that when you are documenting customer environments and doing, for example, onboardings to continuous services, rather than going everything through, you can just get out all the information at once and then get what is needed. And when for example including and excluding resource groups or including only certain tags, you can get only the resources you really need for the documentation, which I have found quite handy. And it also gives us these nice diagrams, which you also get in Visio files also. And then all the information about, for example, a virtual machine, what it has, is it running, IP addresses, port domains, everything you would need for a documentation. Then I touched this a little bit with when showing the document also, but what I have found that this is good about is that it makes the documenting of environments way faster, easier, and of course automated. That and also the change tracking thing is quite handy at certain points. This can also help you to find some flaws inside your system due to checking the compliance stuff and stuff like that. Of course, you have those in Azure also. Security Center will give you a security score and stuff like that. But although, for example, when you can provide these to your clients and show what is missing and what is maybe wrong. And then also one thing we marked in a one customer case was that when looking to documentation and just scrolling through the Visio diagrams, we marked that there was a bunch of stuff that shouldn't be in there, and they weren't generated the right way inside the structure of the environment. So we could identify those right away from the diagrams, and then fix those accordingly, or inform the client to fix those accordingly. I get to the questions soon. Then one thing also what I have marked is that the desktop version seems to have some bugs at some level, although they have now been fixed quite heavily. There was this one bug that messed up the scheduled runs altogether, that it wouldn't run, or it did run at some strange time frames, but it's now have been fixed. And then there has also been some cases that I haven't been able to get some tags to be implemented in the documentation if I wanted to sort out the tags, but recently they have been working well. And for the website version, I haven't marked any of these bugs, but the one reason being that for previously the desktop version was way different than the website version, and they redid it completely in the beginning of this year, I think, and they have been patching it ever since. So there was some issues and some things missing, and they cannot. I think that there may be some implementations that some stuff that is only possible to be done in the website version are going to be implemented in the desktop version also. Then, if we go to questions and comments, yes, about the pricing model. So the pricing is a $1,250 per user, but this is something that when you can utilize the CloudDocket to document multiple tenants, so that you are not limited with the one user, one tenant kind of style. So basically, you could do the documentation so that you run it, for example, to multiple. If your customer has a multiple tenants or something like that, so you can run it against those, no problem. So it doesn't limit it in any way. But then when thinking about the model, for example, if you buy one license for your company and then productize it so that you offer that one license to be run against all of your customers' environments. So that is something that I believe you need to have a chat with CloudDocket. Although it seems that there is no restrictions, but for that kind of usage, I would rather be sure about it than just trying to go with it. But yeah, it's per user licensing, and the price is $1,250 per year. The documentation, how long it takes, it depends on an environment, but I'd say that maybe 5 to 10 minutes on I would say a mid-size environment. And about the document, modifying the document. So yes, basically you can. CloudDocket has a tutorial how to create your own custom templates, and inside your custom templates you should be able to do those how you would like, so that you can fully customize the document structure, but you are of course limited to get those documents in a certain format, like Word files or PDFs. But then again, if you get those documents, so then it's just a copy paste to, for example, some wiki or something like that. Yeah, it saves a lot of time. With our customers being in question, there's at some point that they have saved days of work time with this, so that they wouldn't have to go through everything themselves rather than they get a ready-made document and then just implement that somewhere, and also can see the process with those. Is there any more questions or any comments you would like to ask? Okay, if not anything else, so without further ado, thank you for attending this, and hopefully you got something out of it. And please join for the future events also, and remember to sign up in Meetup and join the Finland Azure users group, so you'll get all the information when the next things are happening. Thank you.